Hi, Anne.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing much better now that I can see you.
Now that you can see me and now that you can hear me. No, I said hi. I can hear you. So I don't know what that was. So
Yeah,
basically, what I'm
it'll make the story more interesting. So,
welcome to Asquin, everyone. I just have a announcement for this week only, and how do I put this? I am cat sitting my sister's cat, and he's needy and a diva, and he knows it. So, hear a cat in the background on my end. Ignore the cat. Try to ignore the cat because he's a diva and he knows it, and we all know it. And so, yeah, he's a diva, and he sometimes gets a little annoyed when people leave. So, yes. So just ignore the cat, but the show must go on with or without the cat. So I want to welcome Anne to the podcast. Anne was a former speech pathologist up until COVID, and then she, along with her husband, started a franchise of Minuteman Press in Denver, Colorado. And so I am excited to welcome Anne.
thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. So, would you please explain to my fan base more about Minuteman Press and what you guys do?
Sure. So, we design, print, and market pretty much anything a business can put a logo on. So, we can make banners, flyers, business cards, we can put your logo on a beach ball, uh, just anything that you can think of where you want to advertise your business and get the word out there, we can do for you.
And okay, so basically, you can do a beach ball to a pen to a coffee cup to a
Yep.
business card, although people don't use business cards anymore. They use
Oh,
um,
can't say that. Can't say that.
ah, I can't I can't say that. Although now business, I should correct me if I'm wrong. Business cards have now gotten more technologically savvy now that they're not just the traditional business cards. I mean, I've seen business cards for podcasters with QR codes in them. So all you have to do is tap the QR code reader on your phone and it pulls up a website.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, there's a lot of things that you can do with business cards. You can put a UV coating on them to, help have them last longer. And you can use it pretty much. I think people like business cards because they can hand them out.
Yeah.
So, if they're meeting somebody for the first time, they can just say, hey, do you have a business card? And exchange them. And that's probably the easiest way to exchange information.
So yeah, even though people like LinkedIn, a business card is still the traditional way to go. Even though we are still dealing with all this business and social media, a business card is a way to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to advertise your business. Every door direct mail or direct mail. Right now, the post office has a discount on that, and that is basically the flyers that you get in the mail that have like an offer for a business. That's what it's basically going to you and all your neighbors.
And so my question is, why did you get into a franchise of Minuteman Plus?
Well, first of all, my husband wanted to start his own franchise, and he has been in the print industry for a very long time. And I was looking for a new opportunity because I'd been a speech therapist for 20 years. And I really wanted to do something where I was using my skills, but in a different way. So when the Minuteman Press presented itself, we really enjoyed meeting with the people who would be working with us, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
Yeah. And so, Anne, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is Me Talk Pretty One Day, and that's by David Sedaris. And I think you would get a kick out of it because it's one of the very first chapter is actually about speech therapy.
Oh
And
boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
so no, you got to hear this though, Win, because what he does is he compares it to being interrogated by the FBI in a dark room with a light bulb.
Okay, so the speech pathologist out there listening. Okay, yeah, and we'll get into speech pathology in a minute here. And so, Anne, what is your morning routine?
So my morning routine can be very boring, but I get up, I take the dog out, I get something to eat. And as my husband says, it's really exciting because I'm not sure what bathroom I'm going to be curling my hair in that morning.
Oh, oh my goodness. Okay. And I know you have a daughter who is being homeschooled right now. I know a bunch of kids and adults are going crazy right now because of homeschooling due to COVID-19. But you homeschooled her before COVID-19?
Yes. So she was doing her school online through Connections Academy.
Okay.
And so we just continued doing that this year. Her teacher, Corey McCoyne, was fabulous. So a shout out to her. And the staff there is wonderful. So they really want to make my daughter welcome. And even her 504 coordinator is sending her little gifts from Parks and Rec every Monday because she knows that she really likes that and she wants to make her feel comfortable in school.
Yeah. Good. Good. See, these speech pathologists and teachers and everyone else needs to become small on the online environment. See, when I left speech pathology before I left education. I left speech pathology many years ago, even though I still have the speech impediment. And although I left the education space when it was still in person. So I haven't been back since. I left in March and I just dive bomb right into journalism. So I don't know how these online schools work. I know they work via Zoom now, but I don't know. I know there's different curriculums and stuff, but I've offered my assistance, but people say, no, we don't need your assistance, but I've offered. And so it's like, okay, just struggle on with Zoom and struggle along with the curriculum, trying to teach a kid, trying to teach 3 kids, trying to teach 4 kids in the same household, and all different grade levels too. So I applaud every single teacher, every single parent, every single administrator out there. I have deeper respect. You guys have deeper respect for me as educator, as a retired educator now, because you guys didn't know what I went through for 13 years. And so now we have a deeper respect for each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, especially because I have a lot of friends who are teachers and administrators and counselors, and it's not easy. It definitely adds an extra element of challenge, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, no. And so Minuteman Press is giving you guys the freedom and the financial resources to do this on schooling type home schooling environment.
Yeah, I just think that because we have a store that's 5,000 square feet, we have extra room for Grace to do her schoolwork. And also, we have tutors that come in and work with her. So she has one right now who's amazing, and her name is Zoe. And she comes in 3 days a week. And Grace is just connecting really well with her, and it's going wonderfully.
Well, good, good. I think we need to now do do more and more for the special ed crowd, and we'll get to that in a minute. And if you had to move and only take 5 things with you, and yes, family can come, what would they be?
So it would be my husband and my daughter for sure. Let's see, probably my curling iron,
Yep,
uh, money, and a passport.
money and passport. I have heard computers, cell phones, I've heard cars, I've heard everything else. I haven't heard a passport yet because
Well, I know you and I love to travel.
I
So
we do. So a passport would probably be a good thing.
yeah.
Passport would probably be a good thing. And so as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me? I know you do.
Oh, that's pretty funny that you do already. So I've been reading your book, or a couple of your books, and learning about you through podcasts. And we have a million things in common. So we both make jewelry. We both are business women. We both have a love for supporting and advocating for people that have disabilities. And so my question to you is, are you my long lost twin?
I think I am because I think I am. And unbeknownst to you guys, how I learned to do this journalism gig and not stay in education is because by the grace of a speech pathologist, yes, I took speech pathology. Yes, Anne is a retired speech pathologist. And oh my God, I bless you guys who are still in the speech pathology, and I bless you guys. Like, there's no small because speech pathology is one of those tough, tough, tough professions, especially when you're dealing with stubborn kids like me.
Like you? No,
Yes,
you're not stubborn.
stubborn. I was stubborn. No, funny story. I actually didn't learn how to speak in Colorado. I actually had to, and when we talk about financial opportunities, if you have the opportunity to hire a one-on-one speech pathologist, do it. If you have the opportunity to do stay-at-home work with your child, do it. And if you have the opportunity to send your kid to online school, do it. Because when it comes to special ed, they need a lot more care than the average child. So therefore, one parent has to commit to their care. I was lucky enough that my mom committed herself to my care. And up until,
Well, and it's
oh,
obvious your speech is really good.
well, thank you. Up until 2011, she committed herself to my care. The only reason is that I don't have that anymore. It's because I unfortunately lost my mom to meningitis and then lost my dad to organ failure only in May of 2019. So, yeah,
Well, and it's really interesting. Another thing that we have in common is the fact that we both lost our moms young.
yeah, yeah. And I wrote the book that Anne is speaking about. I Come a Win after I lost my mom. So I started losing both my parents. One at age 30, one at age 31, and then the other one at age 23, 10 years apart from each other. Yeah. And so basically, what I wanted to do is I wanted out of the education field the day my mom died. I was lucky enough to transfer into another school studying the a week after my mom died, and then I was lucky enough to stumble, but journalism was still my true passion, and
So
I
was it helpful? Sorry, but was it helpful for you to go to another school just to have a different, it's almost like you could be incognito because you didn't have to, nobody knew your story almost about
well,
your mom.
well, at this school, they knew my story all too well because I went to a, I was a student at this school.
Okay,
So they knew my background all too well. So I couldn't be incognito walking around Country Day. Geez,
right,
Aspen Country Day, I could not be incognito. They knew I lost my mom. But I lost my job again due to COVID. And
right.
I also think, now looking back on it, I lost my job due to my own disability because they didn't know what to do with me.
Right,
So when you think about it, when you hire a job coach and for these disabled kids, you all these disabled adults, you have to put them in a place where they're used to and where they're useful, and then you have to work as a team, whether you're working with the speech pathologist or not. Thank you very
right.
much, to get them to the place where they can do a job, where they can do a trade like Minuteman Press, or do, do something, because there's no I in team, there's no I in raising a special ed person.
Well, and I think that you're right. And the fact that I think there's so much misunderstanding and about people that have quote unquote disabilities because they don't often realize that you do want to be productive, you do want to work, and contribute. And just because you have specific challenges doesn't mean that you should not be able to do that.
Amen. Amen. So getting back to my journey with speech pathology, I actually had a speech pathologist here, and um, she tried and tried and tried, and finally she had a friend who was a world-renowned speech pathologist out of Charlottesville, Virginia, believe it or not. So
Mm,
this my speech pathologist friend um, only took 3 clients and did 3 clients per year and did a week intensive at
wow.
house at her house, which the week intensive was O- OT, PT, and speech all
Wow.
together. The moment the moment that my parents and I walked into this beautiful home outside Charlottesville, Virginia, I couldn't speak. And so they were looking for assistive technology way back when.
Right.
By the end of the week intensive,
Mm-hmm.
by the end of the week intensive, now you guys got to remember this was only a week, but it was OT, PT, speech combined 3 times, maybe 2 times a day, 2 to 3 times
Wow.
a day. And by the end of the week, they could not shut me up.
And
So
that's the story, right?
that's the story. That's the story I've been sticking to it. No, but my mom just wanted to have a conversation with me, and all these parents do. So when I say you guys should, if you can, look at home opportunities to help your kids with special needs, please do. Because I was thinking about this. I'm like, well, this is great opportunity for those parents who have special needs kids.
Yeah. Well, I also think that when you're talking about that, the other part of it that we talked about recently was knowing the law and knowing your rights.
Yeah,
And if you don't know your rights, there's many advocates out there that you can find and ask them questions and get your needs met for your children.
yeah. I mean, my parent, my parents went to bat for me. I'm still going to bat for me, and you guys as my fan base have now turned going to bat for me. If you don't see something fit, you guys will speak up on my behalf, and so
Awesome.
the bigger my platform gets, the more fans that I do have, the easier it is for me to advocate for myself. I know people that deal with disabilities day in, day out, and I can call them in 2 seconds flat and say, help me. And
Hmm.
they will guide me in the right direction.
Well,
So
and I think that that was a great point that you made too. Was I think on one of the videos, maybe it was the one with Danielle,
yeah,
and you talked about you ask for help, and I think a lot of people are afraid to ask for help, especially my mom friends and family out there. But ask for help. I mean, if you need it, you need to ask for it because it's going to save your sanity.
it's going to save your sanity, and it's going to save your financial pocketbook in the long run, but more your sanity. If you can get the help you need for your disabled kid, and I'm sorry, but the special ed system is getting turned on its head right now, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to. Anne and I want, Anne and I are watching it from the outside, but we want to dive bomb in and give the parents a hug, and the special ed teachers a hug. And I want so badly, after I get my journalism degree and do all this rest of this stuff, me, I want so badly to travel primarily to these special ed classrooms or do it online to meet with these special ed teachers, everyday teachers, and say, how would you like me to help you with your special needs kids?
Yeah, I think it's a big challenge right now. I mean, we're going to have to almost reinvent special education in
Oh,
order for it to work for
oh
some
yeah,
populations.
you're the first person that said that. We are going we are going to have to reinvent special education.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's interesting because I've only been away from the field for a short time, but it was one of the things that I feel like special education had started to turn towards and then they turned away from, but it was less the disability and more the ability. So building on the strengths, you know, rather than just weaknesses. And I do think that that's something that would be extremely helpful in helping not just students but parents see what their children are able to do, because a lot of times I felt like parents were always trying to show me that, and now I see it from the point of view of now I understand because I was in there to fix things, and in some ways the parents were like, well, yeah, they need to get fixed in this area but not all areas.
Yeah. And so, okay, as a retired spe- as a retired speech pathologist, what would be your best advice for those teachers who are, and we're not talking about online here, who are doing in-person education? Yes, there's such a thing,
Right.
and they're just struggling. They're just the struggle buses will, and they're like, what do we do with this special ed kid who won't pay attention to me, who will not follow rules? What do we do?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. And what I would say to teachers is trust that your special education staff and that your speech therapists, first of all, want to help and support you. And secondly, trust the ideas that they come up with, or, you know, discuss them and come up with a compromise. I can tell you that there were situations where teachers felt like I was giving students too much help. However, they hadn't sat down with them one-on-one to really realize that they needed a lot of scaffolding or support, and they needed, you know, to walk through the situation, and it wasn't as easy for them as the teachers might have thought.
Nope. Once you once you walk in to a special needs setting, I I think that all my aides except for one, have learned something from me just from dealing with me, from taking care of me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching people about disabilities left, right, and center. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, we do this, we do this, we do this. Take it or leave it. But you need
Right.
to teach not only kids to be respectful, but teachers to be respectful.
I
Because
agree.
when you walk in to a special ed classroom as a speech pathologist or as a one-on-one aide, you don't want the teacher to come at you and say, what are you doing pulling Susie Q out? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, because we we get that a lot from teachers. I was lucky enough where my teachers understood that if I needed to be pulled out, it was because of my disability. But for those teachers that are living in a box and don't understand that.
Not a
Uh,
box.
we, we need to, not under wrong, because I shouldn't say that, but we need to have them understand that sometimes they need, the kids need a little bit extra support, and you can't do a one-on-one as a speech pathologist or as a one-on-one aide with a kid if they're in a main classroom. Now, granted, we want the kids to be integrated into their classrooms, but sometimes they need to get pulled out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. I mean, I see all sides of it. I also, from being a mom and knowing that my daughter was pulled out of class, I also know that challenge as well, that then the child missed the instruction and they're already maybe struggling with that, the comprehension piece, and then they have to come back into the classroom and pick up where they left off, but kind of try to figure out where are they now. And so I know that that's a challenge too. So I often took kids out of like special classes, and it wasn't because I wanted them to miss that. It was just because it wasn't going to impact their academics necessarily.
Well, you have got to figure out what your kid needs, and you certainly have to sit down with these teachers. I don't care, in person, I don't care if you bring me or someone else into it. You've got to make a plan with these teachers. Yes, my kid needs this. Yes, my kid needs that. You can't just let these kids go flying solo this year. They they are having, especially the special ed kids, they are having a difficult time with this online situation, and they miss their friends just as much as you might miss your colleagues.
Right.
So now more than ever, I think that special needs kids need extra love and support.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they're getting it.
Hopefully, we hope. We hope. So, Anne, do you want to say anything else, or what is your closing thought? And then where can people find you?
So one of the things that my husband and I talked about was the fact that both of us were in a service industry before we ended up in a printing industry, but that for both of those, we really focused on customer service. And when I was one-on-one with families, I was on, if you want to call it that whole entire hour.
Yeah.
So, it was constant service.
Yeah.
And I think we've carried that into, because my husband was in the military, carried it into our business to the point where we were willing to chase down a UPS truck in order to get one of our clients' flyers. I was trying to make friends with people on the internet so that I could get the flyers to them on time because they had a timeline that they were working with. So we're there and we're ready and we want to help you and give you amazing customer service.
Yep.
So yeah, you can find us at https://facebook.com/Minuteman, all one word, Aurora /.
Okay.
And we are also offering right now 500 business cards for $29. So give me a call at 303-751-5007 and we will hook you up.
Yep. And if people want the franchise opportunity, how do they do that?
That's a great question. So if you go to our Facebook page, it will lead you to the website, and that's the Minuteman Press website. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there are articles that you can click on and videos you can watch about franchise opportunities. And if you're looking for a franchise, this one's phenomenal. The support is amazing, and we couldn't be happier.
And I also want to give out another shout out to how Anne and I met. How Anne and I met is because I'm all the way up in Aspen, and I'm surprised there's women accepting me. But how Anne and I
Whatever.
is through Women of Denver. So you guys need to go look into Women of Denver. Those of you who are in the Denver area, you guys need to go look into Women of Denver. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, they are. They offer great networking opportunities. But the one thing I really like about them is they also focus directly on business. So it's not just about you plugging your own business. It's also about how can I help you? What strategy do you need?
Yeah.
And how can I support you? And that's amazing right now.
That's what we all need. We all need as business owners to be supportive of each other and not say that she's my competition, he's my competition. We all just need to support because it to get us online and functioning, it takes a million brains and it just takes a million people, and some people have better ideas than others. And so you may want to look into a networking event just so that you can bounce ideas off people.
Yeah, definitely. There's nothing better than having a network of people who support you.
No, not at all. And so you guys know where to find me. I'm fiddling around social media. And so, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your time with me and explaining Minuteman Press and explaining your previous career too. And I just appreciate you guys and giving me your support. And you guys will get another big, huge surprise next week, I hope. Next week I can let Sissy
It was a
try out
pleasure.
the bag and yeah, and you guys are gonna be
So are you saying that you're going to buy something from Minuteman Press to give to people? Is that what you're saying?
maybe, although maybe, although maybe I have to, after I do one project, I have to come back and support you because now as soon as this one project gets done, I can support people that I want to support. But
Great.
maybe that will be a maybe, and yes, because I want to support small business owners. That's my ultimate goal is to support small business owners. So, and I appreciate your support. And if you guys are looking for any printed materials, please reach out to Anne and please reach out to the Minuteman Press team because we all need book covers, we all need flyers, we all need signs, we all need vehicles.
Business cards.
Yes, business cards. And so, yeah, we just need everything else under the sun when it comes to printing. And so maybe I will do that. And but know who will reach out to you about the business opportunity or the just getting the business all organized And so I appreciate you guys supporting me. I appreciate Anne supporting me. And I'll see you
Of
guys
course.
next time. Bye, you guys.